He was just 17 when it all began. The youngest in a large family, he had no power and no authority. But there was something different about him, something that made people uneasy. He had dreams, they were not small dreams. He spoke of the sun, the moon, and the stars bowing to him. He said he saw stalks of grain leaning in submission. When he shared what he saw, his brothers did not just scoff. They grew angry, not because he was wrong, but because deep down they believed he might be right. Jealousy grows quietly, even in families. One day, when their father sent him to the fields, it all came to a breaking point. They saw him coming, walking alone, wearing the special robe their father had given him. It was a symbol of favor. To them, it was a reminder of everything unfair. They took him, they stripped him of the robe, and they threw him into a dry pit. Then, instead of killing him, they sold him for 20 pieces of silver to travelers headed far away. He was gone before nightfall. They returned to their father with the torn robe and a lie that would haunt the family for years. The boy was taken across the border into Egypt. He was alone. He was sold again, this time into the household of a wealthy official. He adapted quickly, he worked hard, and despite everything, what he touched began to thrive. The man who owned the house noticed. He gave him charge over everything. But the more he rose, the more he was noticed by someone else. The official's wife tried to seduce him. He refused her. She kept trying. He ran. Because of that, she accused him. There was no trial, no defense. He was sent to prison. Once again, he lost his position and was thrown into darkness. But he adjusted once more. He served. And soon the prison warden trusted him with responsibilities. Then 2 men, former servants of the king, were thrown into the same prison. Both of them had dreams they could not understand. The young man listened. One of the dreams meant restoration. The other meant death. He explained both with perfect clarity. To the one who would live, he made a simple request. He said, "When you are released, please remember me." But the man forgot he was released, and the dreamer remained behind. 2 years passed. Then one night, the pharaoh had a disturbing dream. It showed fat cows and thin ones, full heads of grain swallowed by empty ones. None of his magicians or advisors could explain it. That is when the cupbearer remembered. He said, "There is a man in the prison who understands dreams." The pharaoh sent for him immediately. They brought him up quickly. They shaved him, dressed him, and led him into the court. The pharaoh said, "I hear you can interpret dreams." The man replied, "I cannot, but God can." He listened to the dream. Then he explained, 7 years of plenty were coming. They would be followed by 7 years of severe famine. If Egypt was wise, it would begin storing food now while it still could. The room went silent. Then the pharaoh did something no one expected. He removed his royal ring, and he gave it to the prisoner. In a single day, the boy who had once been sold into slavery was placed in command of the most powerful nation on earth, from the lowest cell to second in command. Years later, as the famine spread across the world, travelers came from distant lands to look for food. Among them were 10 brothers. They did not recognize the man they stood before, but he knew them immediately. He did not speak harshly, he did not reveal himself at first. He observed. He tested their hearts, and when he saw what he needed to see, he began to cry. Then he told them clearly, "I am your brother. I am the one you sold." They froze. But instead of punishment, he offered peace. He said, "You meant it for harm, but God meant it for good." He brought his family to safety. He reunited with his father, and he made sure their people survived in the middle of the famine, not because of luck, not because of chance, but because even in betrayal the purpose of God was still alive. The pit did not break him. The prison did not silence him. And the dream he saw as a teenager was never forgotten, not by him and not by God.